everybody. Welcome to another edition of NCW, also known as New Comics Wednesday. If you haven't been with us before, we chat for a few minutes every Wednesday about Zenescope's newest releases. If you don't know who I am, I'm Amber. I'm your NCW host. It says it right here. Let me try to point. There we go. Wow, I'm a bit rusty because it's been 2 weeks since we had NCW. Because there was no new releases last Wednesday, which is crazy. It's also nice, though, because it was the holiday and it would have been a lot to do this and then also, prepare for all the holiday food. Thank you, Raven. That was such a nice compliment. Happy New Year, Rob. I want everyone to drop in the comments and tell me what your favorite Christmas present was. Or, a Hanukkah present or Kwanzaa present or whatever your holiday present was. I'm currently wearing my favorite holiday present, which you guys cannot see. Hi, John. Right now, I'm going to put it up on the desk. But my mommy bought me these, and I wore them around the office today, and everybody was dying. Okay, I'm going to see if I can, kick it up right here. Yes. My Stingray slippers. That's right. I got some nice Stingray slippers. I'll take them off so you can get a further look at these. Okay. We were trying to name them in the office, and we don't know. My brother-in-law said I should call them Steve Rays, which I thought was funny. But I got 2 Stingray slippers. So make sure that you drop me in the comments and tell me, A, what I should name my Stingray slippers, number 1. But also, B, what your favorite Christmas present was, because that's what I'm going to ask Dave when he comes on. And yes, today I will be joined by our publisher, Dave, in just a few minutes. We'll be talking about Grimm Fairy Tales number 55, also known as Grimm Fairy Tales Noir. That's not actually what it's also known as, but, just throwing it out there. It's $3.99. As always, our Grimm Fairy Tale books are always $3.99. And they always come with 4 covers. And I'm going to get to that in just a second, but I didn't do my regular. Oh, Adrian's about my Stingray slivers. Guys, tell me. Are these not the cutest things you ever saw in your whole life? Tell me. Okay. Look at this. I love stingrays. So I petted stingrays once in Grand Cayman. So I'm up for suggestions. But anyway, so if you're looking for our newest releases, how you'll find them is you'll go to zenescope.com/new releases. There'll be a button at the top. It will show you all of our latest releases in order that they've come out from most recent. You can also go to Comixology, or you can go to your comic shop and support them during this very, very difficult year, difficult 2 years. I don't know. How long has the pandemic lasted now? Feels like just somebody was sharing pictures with me that happened earlier this year. And I'm like, that didn't happen this year. That happened 3 years ago. They're like, no, this was this year, Amber. And I was like, whew. Anyway, so today we'll be talking about Grimm Fairy Tales number 55. And as always, our lovely intern, Casey, will be popping up all 4 of our covers. As always, tell me which are your favorites. Here is cover A. There we go. When Dave pops on, I'm going to ask him what his favorite cover is, because that's just our thing, and he's going to not tell me what his favorite cover is. But this week is really hard. Really hard. I really like the Noir vibes a lot. So here's cover A. I love cover A. Here is cover B. I love the action, too, of cover B, because it gives away a lot of what's about to take place. It's also interesting because we obviously have our main character not with her cyber look, which is obviously changing. Then we have cover C. Cover C. Smoking. Looks so good. This looks like just a picture image. Remove the Grimm Fairy Tale stuff. Remove our top branding. This would just seem like an image that you'd have in your apartment, especially if you live in the 1930s as a pinup cover. I love cover C. And then here is cover D. Look at that. I love the background. That's so noir. I don't know. This week is really, really, really hard. I don't know. I know Casey's going to drop in the comments what her favorite is, but here is our 4 covers. I'm going to read the synopsis, and then I'm going to bring Dave on. After sparking a full-blown revolution, Sky was lucky enough to escape with her life. But how she ended up here and where exactly here is a question in itself. Surviving betrayals in a cyber-enhanced world is one thing, but she can't make her way through the underbelly of her new surroundings. What dark secrets lie ahead in the Guardian of the Nexus? Don't miss this next chapter in Sky's universe-shattering adventure. So without further ado, I will bring on our publisher, Dave. You're muted, Dave.
Yep, I noticed. Nah, I love that. I just like the one line in there for the description where it's like, well, where she is at? And it's like, I'm Ron Burgundy.
You know what's so funny too is my first question I had for you is, where in the world is she now?
She's on a different Earth. I mean, we haven't given these Earths actual full-blown names. We've been calling it like the Noir world, cyber world, the blah blah world, which is coming up, and
The blah blah world. Wow, my personal favorite.
Yes. Well, I mean, I just censored myself. That's all. It's just different. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. But yeah, no, I mean, like, so she's kind of bouncing around all the different worlds, trying to get back to her actual world. And it was just our kind of way of like, weirdly, like we weren't intending it because everybody else was doing multiverse stuff. It just kind of weirdly timed into the same thing that we had this idea for a while, and it kind of just happened at the same time everybody was doing all those multiverse things. And we're like, oh crap, it's gonna look like we're doing that, but we're taking our own spin on how this is instead of just like, oh, here's all these different worlds. It's like, all right, well, why are we seeing these worlds? What's going on in these worlds? And then also hopefully setting up for future stories with these characters. So we're trying to at the same time give you Sky's story, but also develop these other characters so you can maybe like them. Like, okay, cool. We want to read more about like Noir Bell or the cyberpunk Robin and Helsing and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting how this conveniently, I don't want to say conveniently, but conveniently lined up when so many other, publishers right now, maybe not publishers so much, but movies are being made about the multiverse.
I mean, they must have looked at our plans, obviously. Like, it was clearly, no, I mean, it was really weird. Like, there was no plan of like, all right, they're all doing this, let's do that. It was just a story we had, and we're like, yeah, let's do this. And then it was like, then all of a sudden you see like the Flashpoint stuff and the multiverse and like the Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange, and I'm like, oh, well, this is gonna be weird, but whatever. We ain't gonna stop. We're gonna do our own thing on it, and hopefully everybody likes it. And if not, I don't want to ever hear it. Tell it to the Multiverse Dave in another universe.
Multiverse Dave. Ooh, what do you think Multiverse Dave is doing right now?
Probably this exact same thing. we're not very different.
He's hosting NCW, and I'm actually writing all the comics.
It could be. I like that world. That world seems a lot of fun. What would your shirt say? What would this be like?
Oh,
Teenage
you're right.
Ninja Stingrays.
It would say. It would either say Stingrays, just quickly shout out my wonderful Stingray slipper again, okay? Or it would say A Day with Oliver.
That would be messed up. That'd be really weird.
For you guys who don't know, Dave comes up with comic storylines throughout his life every day. Like, he can't stop it. And one day he came in and said, he was telling me about just different animals that he met and different things. And the first one he talked about was Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver. I mean, we'll say that for another day. Hopefully, it'll be something. So I don't want to spoil nothing. But he's a creature that lives around here.
Okay, so what is more challenging and more fun? Is it writing a continuous storyline of characters, like writing issue of Grimm Fairy Tales? Or is it getting this opportunity to get the characters that we already know and love, but making them completely different because they're in a new multiverse?
I mean, it's both. It's a little bit of both. It's like I love writing like Sky's story, Belle's story. Like, I like writing their stories and continuing and growing them and kind of like letting you see them grow and learn from their experiences. I think that's awesome. But also too, where you can go in and be like, you know what? What if these characters were done in a different world, wherever they'd be? And it's really cool to kind of just think of like different ways of like, all right, well, why would they turn out this way? What would make them come out to be the same way they are in our universe? Or would they? And you'll see in the upcoming issues, like some of the characters don't react the same way because their universe didn't have the same events that ours did. So yeah, like that's really cool to like. I think that's the most fun about like storytelling is just like figuring out different aspects of the story and what you want to tell. And the most frustrating part is like not having enough time or space to tell it all. Like even just like I was looking at stories today and I'm like, there's just so much you want to put in, but it's like picking and choosing what you want to put in for this story and then saving hopefully that you can come to later. I mean, you hope that, but sometimes you never get a chance to. So you try to put as much cool stuff as you can. And it was about overloading everybody. So it's a mixture of both. It's like you like growing these things, but it's always fun coming up with something new and bringing something new there that hasn't been done yet. And it gives you a little more, it refreshes what you're kind of working on. So like it kind of brings more refreshment to Grimm where it's like, all right, well, she's fighting this character. It's like, oh, now she's in this world fighting this character. Why is she fighting this character? And or who else is coming up? Like, and that's the fun too, is you get to throw in more surprises with these different worlds. Like people have no idea who might show up, when they might show up, and how they're going to be good, they're going to be bad, if they're going to be different, they're going to be the same. So I mean that I love that stuff. So
it is pretty crazy. And we obviously exploring a lot of characters that, again, everybody knows and loves right now, but we're exploring different versions of them. So give me a little behind the scenes here. When you're planning out Grimm Fairy Tales, which is an ongoing story, and you know that you're going to have so many issues of it every year, when you have these story conferences where you get together with Joe and Ralph and David, how far advanced do you plan Grimm Fairy Tales? Is it like, do you plan it halfway and then you meet up again and plan the other half? Or do you guys kind of have a general idea of where you're going the entire year?
For Grimm, the last 2-3 years, it's kind of been almost like mapping out like an overall arc of like 12 issues, like where we're going to go for like the year. And then kind of like rough ideas of where each issue is going to be. Like this, like say whatever, issue 51 will be the setup for the Dark Princess coming and sending Sky away and like jump starting the next story. Then it was like, all right, then 52, 53, 54 was going to deal with the cyberpunk world and these certain characters in that world. And then so we kind of build that out and we do a big chunk of it at 12. And then we kind of start filling it in as we go. As we meet every like once in a while, we'll fill in like, all right, where are we at on this? And we start building off other stories from there. So like there's some stories that happened in issue 51 that we're going to be touching on later in the year. Like there's a Myths and Legends quarterly Jasmine story that'll be coming up, and that'll spin off of what happened to her after issue 51. And then there's also like there's a few other like, and also with this Dark Princess saga, it's kind of giving repercussions throughout the entire universe. So like some of the stuff we kind of thought out already. We're like, all right, this is where all these stories are going to be. Some of them were like, you know what, we did something in here and might have changed a little bit. We're like, all right, let's add this for later in the year and let's make this. There's a cool story here. Let's do that. And that was kind of the same thing that happened with like when we did it with like Van Helsing. We kind of plotted out like, all right, we're gonna bring back the League of Monsters. And then at the end of that, we're gonna leave a character somewhere where we're gonna want to get that character's like a full story from that character that we have never gotten before later in the year, and that's coming up. So that'll be, I'll just spoil it a little bit because you probably see in previews already. It's or it's coming up. It's just like it's Grimm Universe presents Dracula's daughter. So you're gonna finally get like her origin instead of just like, oh, she kind of came and she wrote like she came after Van Helsing. You're gonna get to know why she hates Van Helsing and the way she is. So like that stuff is what we kind of map out, and then we kind of come up with loose ideas, and then sometimes we either take them ourselves and flesh them out, or we take a lot or we build a little bit more and then take them to other writers, be like, hey, can you take this story that we have and kind of put your own spin on it and turn it into something? And that's what's happening a lot too with Jenna Lynn Wright. She took our Black Knight idea, and then like we fleshed that out for her, and then she just turned that in, and then same thing with the Myths and Legends Jack and Jill. So we have Jenna on a bunch of cool things coming up, and we have Pat on some cool things coming up. So
let's talk a little bit about then. But before we do, I want to just shout out, if you guys have any questions for Dave, please always drop them in the comments and I'll ask them. But I just thought this was such a nice comment by John.
Well, thank you. It's thank you. I appreciate that.
And second shout out by John. Jenna is an awesome writer, and having her on NCW 3 times in like 4 weeks, I was not sad about it.
No, she's killing it. She's crushing it with these stories, and it's really cool. Like giving her this stuff, and like the more we work with her, the less like restraints we try to give her, and we're like, yeah, kind of throw more stuff in there, and it's cool to kind of see what she comes up with, because it like that's the whole thing about like the comics. It's a collaborative process, and you want to, as much as we want to tell our own story and do all that stuff, but you also want to get other people's viewpoints and stories on there, and then it turns into something better. Like I don't know how many times it's been where like even if I've written something and then an artist turns something back in and it's wrong from the script standpoint, but it makes the story better, you're like, just go with that. That's even better. We'll work around that and make that work. And like that's what's really cool about like working in comics. Like
so tell me what's going on in 2022. Like, what are some titles that you really, really want to shout out, or like some projects you're really excited about?
All of them? No, I mean, yeah, it's a ton of them. I mean, Grimm's going to get a little more crazy as we get closer towards the end of this arc, and it'll help kind of wrap up a lot of this Dark Princess stuff that's going on. We've been planting a lot of seeds in with Hellfire and with the Kings of Hell. So like we're gonna have more of that stuff coming for next year, and also you're gonna get more questions in this year, and then you might get more answers going forward. I mean, so we have like some of the big stories we have come up is like the Jack and Jill story that brings back Jack the Giant Killer. I mean, it's not like it's our twist on like the Jack and Jill naming. But yeah, so like we'll introduce new character Jill into the Grimm universe. She's really cool. And she's part giant, part like human, like a little bit mixed with magic. I don't want to spoil too much there, but that one's coming together really cool. Then we have the Black Knight.
When did we introduce Jack?
That was like Grimm 60, like 65, maybe 63. Like the original volume 1, like, so that was probably like 2000, I would say 12.
Wow. And he's gonna get like a good connection story with Jill. This is kind of exciting.
Yeah. So we're gonna bring him back. We haven't seen him since I think Grimm Fairy Tales Bad Girls, and we might have seen him like briefly in like the Arcane Acre, like for like a scene or two. I can't remember. I don't think so though, but it's possible. But like we haven't really seen him like get a role in this universe until now for a while. So we'll get Jill. Then we have the Black Knight story coming up. That's I can't tell you. There's the Purple Knight and the Black Knight, and I can't tell you really much more about that. But it's going to delve into a little bit more of Black Knight's suit, like what her suit is, where it came from, and the magic behind that in Camelot. So you get a little more backstory there. So we're going to try to flesh out our characters a little bit more that we introduced over the past couple of years, but we haven't had time to really delve into. And that's what's really cool with these quarterly books and these annuals. Like you have 64 or 72 pages to really give a full story for these characters. That's what we're going to try to do. So we have the Jasmine story coming up, the Dracula's Daughter quarterly. So you'll get that origin. What else is there? I got a list of stuff.
I have a quick side question. Michael Miller, love him. Hi, Michael Miller. Dave, I've been keeping up with the one-shots lately, but I've been reading. I haven't been reading the monthly Grimm Fairy Tales. What issue is a good jumping on point?
For the new story arc, you would want to read with Grimm Fairy Tales 51. But pretty much it's like every 12. So it's like 1 through 12. And then it was 13 through 25. Then it was 26 through 37. And then 38 through 50. And then, yeah, so 51's for the new arc is where you're going to jump on.
Okay, so you've talked a lot. Jack and Jill. Jenna's going to be involved. We got a Purple Knight. What else do we got?
We have an Oz annual coming up.
Ooh, we have another question. Where is Jasmine since the Dark Princess snapped everyone into different realms?
Well, that's the story we're going to answer with the Miss Legends, or is it Miss Legends? I can't remember what we called it. Yeah, I think it's the Miss Legends quarterly coming up for Jasmine. Yeah, Miss Legends quarterly Jasmine, and that'll be out in May. So you'll get that answer in May.
That's
Sorry.
6 months from now, Dave.
Well, there's plenty of books to read between now and then, so like, we'll keep you occupied until then. And then you'll be like, I forgot all about that, and you again like, oh my god, I hope. But yeah, so that's coming up. Then we have the Oz annual. That's going to actually not pick up after, but it's going to tie into the Oz Heart of Magic storyline that we started like 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, so we have that. We have a bunch of like a crazy. I don't know if you've been reading Robin Hood, but there's a whole Robin Hood storyline that's kind of been going through all the Robin Hood stories that it's gonna culminate in an annual around. When's the annual? The annual that's coming out in June. But like every other month until then, you're going to get a lot. It's going to tie in a little bit of what was going on with Mystere, Robin Hood, the Children of Darkness. So if you're not reading that, you definitely want to read that because it's a really big story for Robin that's going to kind of change the way her world goes going forward.
Chuck wants to know, when does Shang and the gang finally find Sky?
Well, in one universe, they probably did. In our universe, they haven't yet. I mean, we'll find out once we get further along in Grimm Fairy Tales. It could be issue 56. It could be issue 62. I'm leaning more towards the other end, but I mean, it'll be coming. We'll be seeing the reunions coming soon for the Grimm characters. Will they be happy? I don't know. We'll see.
That's the most fun about like a multiverse, though, is like you see different, and that's what happens a lot in Grimm Fairy Tale number 55. Like you're seeing different storylines. You're like, when are they all gonna like meet up?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, that's the fun and the most like crazy part is because like every time I go to like write an issue or go through an issue, I have to reread the other ones to make sure that everything that I thought in my head I either wrote down already or I didn't use. So you don't want to like leave out a part and like, oh crap, I forgot about this part in there. Like, so a lot of that is, it's fun building it, but it's also like stressful because you're like, oh crap, we almost forgot this part. We got to get that in there and make sure that's in there. But like, I think it's really fun when you see it all come together, and then like you kind of look back, you're like, holy crap, we made it work. And then you hope that like the things that don't work, and you're like, nobody else noticed that. No, but our fans are smart enough; they'll notice. But that's why we try to make sure we don't leave any like. And if we leave a stone unturned, it's because there's a reason for it, and there's something that's going to come up. Or at least that's what we'll tell you guys, so we don't look. But
and then you'll have we'll have an NCW where we're just like, what are stones that are unturned? And Zenescope people just be listing them, and I'll be like, Dave, these are things we need to answer.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah, the whatever Universe Grimm Quarterly 2024, we got it now. I'm sure there's tons.
So Brian is our next question. Is Sky going to find Silas somewhere in the multiverse? Ooh, that's a good question.
And it's not one I can answer.
Ooh.
So, I mean, there's multiple worlds with multiple versions of people, and not every person has gone through the same storylines and the same life and death. So, like, there's definitely a possibility for Sky to run into another version of her mom or possibly another version of herself. So, possibilities are endless.
Okay, so my last question is, you spoke a lot about some of our regular characters that we see. What are some new storylines? Because I know part 2 of Rise of the Jinn is coming out next week. What else do we have that's going to be new on our agenda?
Well, we have All Guts No Glory. That issue, it's going to print this week, so it'll be out the first issue will be out January 26th. So that one will be out soon. That came out really cool. Yeah, and I don't want to. It's loosely tied a little bit into the Man Goat and Bunny Man universe. So that you don't need to read that to even acknowledge that, but at the same time, it'll add a little bit of like, okay, I get where this sense of humor and the story kind of is, because it's more of like an action horror comedy tied with a million other things of like a coming of age story mixed with it's magic. Like definitely musical magicians. Yeah, you'll see. No, so we have that coming up. We don't have a new series coming out in the second quarter, but we have I don't even know if I can tell. I can't even tell you what's coming out in the third quarter yet. I mean, it's a sequel to something we've done, so you're going to want to read it, but I can't tell you what it is yet because I don't want to. I want to let marketing have that hype behind it and get the excitement, and I don't want to steal your thunder.
That's fair.
Yes, Rockgicians. That's exactly what it was. Thank you, Casey.
Okay, so All Guts, No Glory, something that's going to be a sequel that we can't spoil. Is that all we can say?
For right now, I mean, besides the Grimm Fairy Tales stuff coming up, a lot of the Robin Hood, the Van Helsing, the Bell, those are still, they'll be the bi-monthly stories. And then we're going to have some returns of like Gretel throughout the year. She'll be in a few stories. We're going to have introduction of a new character. What's that? I think it was going to be another new character is going to come out. Where am I at? I have it on here somewhere. I think it was going to be July. Yeah.
Summer 2020.
Nope, sorry. August.
Summer
I'm
2020.
sharing stuff on here and people are not even noticing it.
They're like screenshotting your notes right now that says Sky and Sela meeting in the next issue.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. Don't look at them.
That's awesome. You know, for people who don't know Zenescope, Dave is our publisher. He's been here for over a decade and he has done fantastic work. And he continues to write Grimm Fairy Tales as well as our ongoing Bell series, as well as just overseeing a lot of the publishing with our editor-in-chief, David Wall, who I should have on maybe next week to talk about Rise of the Djinn.
Well, he'll actually be in the office next week, too. So.
I know. Literally, someone just told me that yesterday. I was like, oh, I had no idea.
Well, surprise.
Surprise.
It's a New Year's Day present.
Before I let you go, what was the ultimate Christmas/Hanukkah present that you got?
Well, I mean, obviously, just like I would tell you my favorite cover for the thing, all my presents are my favorite, just like all the covers are my favorite.
Dave,
I mean, I'm wearing one of them. I got a nice Ninja Turtles shirt.
Next, I'm gonna ask what your favorite Zenescope employee is, and all you're gonna say is not you.
Well, no, no. I like to keep things to my chest. Now, I mean, like, the thing is, like, you never know. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I love it this day, and then the next day you're like, I don't love this cover, or not that, or you're like, I like this cover. Like, I don't know. I'd rather be open to be like, there's no definite since everything is very fluid. It's like, all right, yeah, I really think this cover is awesome today, and it also depends too, like when you look at covers, what you're using them for. Like, are they like, is it really good for this piece, or is it good for that, or like, so like I can't really be like, yeah, that one's great because like it might be great for this, but it won't be. It doesn't mean it's better than like say a pinup for this or whatever it is. No, I don't think I'd get away with that. I mean, I've had so. I mean, with Michael Dooney's drawing Ninja Turtles and he's written Ninja Turtles, so we've had Ninja Turtle artists on our covers. It's funny because I was cleaning out my comics like the other month, and I found a comic that I used to read over and over again as a kid before I'd go to like bed, and it actually came with like one of the tape, like a tape that you could play, and it would almost read the comic to you. And it was drawn and written by Michael Dooney, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy.
That is really cool.
So that's the closest we've come to it. But yeah, I don't think Joe Robert could be like, and the cosplay covers, but like I don't think I'm going to give me let me do like an homage of the Ninja Turtles. We'll see. We'll see if I can sneak one in.
Well, next week, like we're gonna have Dave on for Grimm Fairy Tales or Belle in like 2 months, and I'm gonna be like, "What's your favorite cover?" Dave joking around. He's gonna like this cover, and I'm gonna be like, "A homage to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles."
Well, yeah, well, is it Chuck has in there? He's like, just Hershey. Yeah, it's Hershey as a ninja type turtle.
Well, thank you so much, Dave, for joining me today. I'm sure I'll have you on very, very soon.
Well, thank you for having me. All right, have fun. Hope you guys had a good holiday. Bye.
So I'm really glad we got to have Dave on because I really did want to talk about some of the exciting stuff that we were going to be doing in 2022. And there is a lot of incredible things. On top of that, I'm going to be talking about some upcoming, subscription programs, some other exciting stuff. Before I do that, I'm going to go into our recap mode. Today, I was talking about Grimm Fairy Tales number, there we go. Number 55. It is $3.99 in our web store right now. You can also get it at your local comic shop as well as Comixology. We had 4 wonderful covers. Wonderful covers. Wow, I cannot talk today. Casey, will you pop these up for me? We got a cover A. We have a cover B. We have a cover C. Damn, I love cover C. We got a cover D. 4 smoking great covers. So again, if you guys are just tuning us right now, you're going to want to rewatch the interview that I did with our publisher, Dave Franchini, because we talk a lot about some exciting releases in 2022. And I completely agree with this. I've actually said this a couple of times. I'm like, why don't we do read-along cassette tapes? This is just going to be a quick side note, but I don't know if you guys ever had cassette tapes. I'm sure you did growing up, but I had a read-along cassette tape, which was a Goosebumps. I had the entire Goosebumps set, Deep Trouble, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes, the Tower of Terror, and then I actually met R.L. Stine, aka Bob, because then when I worked in conventions, we just called him Bob, which I thought was like unreal. But I think it would be the funnest thing if we did like a read along, or maybe we did, just a version on our YouTube channel where we picked like 5 really big comics and somebody just read all of it. I know we kind of do that for comic book theater, but could just be something also cool that we end up doing. I don't know if you guys are interested in that. Let me know. So we have a lot to talk about in recap today, which is really, really incredible. The first thing I want to talk about is some of our subscriptions that we have coming out. So we'll have 5 new subscriptions dropping in 2022. I won't spoil them all right here. I'm sorry. But I can say that we will be having a sticker book subscription, which we've been teasing on our social media channels right now. It'll be coming in 2022. Thank you. And this is an example of one of the stickers. It will have a couple of different characters, a lot of our most staple characters that will come with character bios. This sticker book subscription is going to be fantastic for anybody who wants to know a little bit more about our characters or is a collector. I know there's a lot of sticker collectors out there. There's going to be 2 parts to it. So part 1 is going to be the actual book where you will put your stickers in. And then part 2, every month, there will be a new character featured in the sticker. And it's given away right here. But 3 of the characters you can see, obviously, our girl that we talked about today on the top. We'll also be doing Robin Hood. And you can see a Mystere. So it's going to be incredible. If you collect all the stickers, there is a good prize, which is an eBass cover. So this is definitely something that you guys will enjoy doing. On top of the sticker subscription, we will also be having our new Zen Boxes, and we're not going to unveil the cover today because I know that's what you guys want, but our new Zen Box theme will be board games. So I think we've mentioned that a couple of times. I know Adrian dropped it on the VIP page before, but that is going to be our latest Zen Boxes. Oh, wait, no, I lied. Dave popped back on. Dave's like, no. Am I wrong?
The cereal box cosplays are getting replaced with board game cosplays.
That's right.
The Zen Box theme is a different theme. I don't know if you guys are revealing that yet, but that's a different one.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
This is why Dave's in the background. I should have done this with you. I don't want to unveil too much about certain subscriptions because I don't know what I can and can't say, but I also don't want to not say anything.
Yeah, because we're gonna do the cereal box subscription. I guess if you have it, it'll continue as long as you don't cancel it.
That you're right. Continue. That will become the board games,
and it'll swap over to board games, and all the board games are going to be done by Elias Chatzudis, and then the Zen box covers are going to be done by Ali Garza. But I don't know if we can reveal what those are yet. I mean, maybe we tease them. I don't know when we're putting it on sale.
We won't reveal it because I know that our last Zen box just dropped a couple of weeks ago. So we're probably not going to drop another Zen box until like 3 months from now.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. Sorry, guys.
So I won't say too much about that, but maybe you want to stay out.
They're really cool. They're the best.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. On top of that, we also have there will be something that will be unveiled. I don't want to. Oh wait, what were you going to say, Dave?
Well, I say we can call them the Ketchums. Nobody knows what that is.
That's true. I teased this on our social pages of what may be what definitely is some covers that we have dropping, and I'll say are the Ketchum covers. And if you saw the image, it says, "Who's that Zenescope character?" When will those drop every month?
I'm not sure. I don't know what date. I mean, they're going to come out monthly, so it'll be 12 of them monthly. But I don't know exactly the date that we're going to put them on our website, or if we're releasing them on the live streams first. I'm not sure the full plan yet. I think we're going to figure that out very soon, or maybe Mark and Joe already figured it out, and we're just not caught up yet.
I will say, I won't really tell you about the other subscription programs just yet, but I will say that there is going to be a benefit as to having multiple subscriptions with us. So what that really means is there's a lot of opportunities, and I guess I'll just talk a little bit about subscriptions right now. So what subscriptions are is every month, Dave just throwing that up there. Every month, what we'll end up doing is we have a couple of subscriptions. So Dave mentioned it. We had cereal box cover homages that we were doing. We do a subscription for Van Helsing storylines. We do a subscription for Grimm Fairy Tales. And what that means is that every time a new issue comes out, you'll automatically get that issue. On top of that, we also do just other random subscription programs, including
sorry. No, I was saying
the sticker book. What else am I missing?
The movie club.
Yep.
So we got the sticker of the month, the metal comic, the metal card of the month.
Yeah.
There's gonna be more. There's I don't know what we've revealed.
I don't want to say. I will say that there will be a new subscription that's coming that is kind of under the theme of products, but it's going to be something that you guys really, really like and something you always ask us about. So that will also get a subscription program as well. Yep. But as I mentioned, I don't want to dive too much into this, but there will be an opportunity to get something back from all the subscriptions. So if you're a subscriber, don't unsubscribe, because there's going to be a lot of benefits coming in 2022. And if you're not a subscriber, you need to become one.
You get our undying love and gratitude.
You do. And a lot of subscriptions come with free shipping, right?
Or I mean, it's built into it, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Like you're pretty much getting free shipping, especially the further you are away from us, the cheaper the shipping gets. But yeah, we got tons and tons and tons.
These
are just 6 pages of just the collectible covers.
On top of shipping, which we were just discussing, Zenescope Black, which we've been teasing for about 2 months, will officially be launching in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much, Casey. It is going to be incredible. The only way you'll be able to get Zenescope Black is if you are a VIP. So if you're not a VIP, you can become one at any time. It's $99 one-time price, and there are so many incredible benefits, as well as hanging out with us at the VIP event, which I'll be talking about in a little bit, as well as doing exclusive streams that we do in our VIP Facebook group. You also get access to, or first access to, some exclusive covers, depending on what status, whether you're bronze, gold, or silver. And now what you'll also get is the fact that you can sign up for Zenescope Black. It will be $199 domestic, $399 international. What that means, it's a 1-year price. It's an annual subscription, and you will get unlimited free shipping. So buy as much as you want. Subscriptions obviously included, but buy as much as you want, and it will come in. You'll also get $200 worth of coupons sprinkled throughout the year that will be able to be spent on some, exclusives or some discount codes or anything like that. So Zenescope Black's going to be awesome.
Nah, that's exciting. But yeah, I'll let you get back to it. I'll leave you alone. Sorry, Dave. But now you.
Goodbye. If I say anything wrong, again, shake your head in the background.
All right. Yeah.
So Zenescope Black again. Adrian's going to drop more information. Speaking of Adrian, so at the start of every month for VIPs, she does her own stream, and it's 5 p.m. She'll let you know what the day. She'll post about it in our Facebook group. She's going to hop on, and she's going to be able to tell you guys more about Zenescope Black. She's going to be able to tell you more about our subscription programs and upcoming subscription programs. And she's going to be able to tell you more about our West Coast VIP event, which will be taking place the weekend of April 23rd, and that will be in Las Vegas. And I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Casey. Here are some incredible things that will be happening at the Zenescope Vegas VIP event. It'll be taking place at the Mirage. You'll get to hang out with Zenescope artists and creators. And those are the 3 artists. I think Ralph has mentioned them before, but we will be having Keith Garvey, Ebas, and Sun Kumanaki. And if you guys know anything about Sun, she obviously lives in Canada and she never, ever, ever makes US appearances. So this will be, I believe, her first US appearance, especially with us. So this is the opportunity to bring anything that you want to have ever had signed by her. We'll also be obviously unveiling collectible covers by them. So if you want to get any of this stuff signed and you want to hang out with Joe and Ralph and Jason and Dave and David and Adrian and myself, this is going to be an incredibly fun weekend in Vegas. And tickets are supposed to be on sale, I believe, anytime. I think it's supposed to be live. Adrian, I know that you're still here. Can you drop a link right now of where they can get tickets if it is live, or if it's not live yet, please also drop that. There is a link on here, but I just wanted to double check to see if it's live. So you'll be able to get tickets. It's just going to be a lot of fun and you're going to want to hang out with everybody. And so it will again be the weekend of April 23rd. We'll be hanging out in Vegas. You'll have an opportunity of a lot of fun activities. There'll be access to incredible exclusives that we'll be sharing. It'll be our first time ever hosting a Zenescope West Coast VIP event. So again, make sure, looks like we have a new link. Thank you so much, Adrian. Click that link and you'll be able to buy your tickets ASAP. Very excited. Thank you, Casey, so much for flashing that up. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I did want to mention, we did get to have the incredible people from Crypto Fighters on here a couple of weeks ago for our virtual con. All of that stuff is also still live. This is a really long NCW, everybody. I'm so sorry. It's clearly because of my incredible slippers, my manta ray slippers, that I'm still waiting on names, everybody, BT dubs. Look how, I wish you could see, like, this is just me comfy with my slippers on telling you about all these updates. Rob, you do have to come to Vegas because you came to New York. I got to see you for literally 3 seconds and it's just not enough time. It's not enough time. So it's not enough time with anybody. If you guys are coming to the West Coast VIP event, make sure that you drop that in the comments right now so I can make a note of who I'm going to be hanging out with for the funnest weekend of our lives. Let's be real. I know I'm expecting Rob to be there. I know it's a little bit of a hike, but I'm expecting Chuck to be there. I know Robert Pete's going to be there because we're going to laugh about the car that he got for the VIP event. So I'm expecting both of my Johns to be there. There's a lot of expectations here, people, and please don't let me down. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to your girl, Amber. Don't do this to the Zenescope team because we love you guys. So to hear a lot about our updates and whatnot, make sure that you tune into Adrian's VIP update that will be taking place in just a couple of days. And she will let you know on the Facebook group exactly when you'll be there or when it'll be taking place. On top of that, our next VCon, January 3rd. Thank you so much. Carrie, I can say, and I will only tease this for a second, but you can expect more coloring books in 2022. That's all I'll say about that. But there are some coloring books in the works right now. So you should be excited about that. On top of this, our next VCon is happening in literally like 2 weeks. It is our New Year's Eve edition of our VCon. It's just one day. It's going to be from 6 to 9. I'm hoping that we're going to do some kind of like ball drop and it'll be the most fun ever. I'll probably wear something really fancy out of my fancy wardrobe that I know that you guys love to make fun of and I always look forward to. Make sure that you tune in and hang out with us January 13th from 6 to 9 p.m. because it's going to be a lot of fun. The most fun ever. On top of that, our next movie club is going to be taking place at the end of next month. We just recently did Silent Night, Deadly Night, and we had our Scream Queen on. So if you didn't watch that, make sure that you go back and check that out. But our entire movie club lineup, I know Casey's going to show up this graphic. There it is. It's really small, but our first movie is going to be Resident Evil. We have an incredible list of movies. Cough, cough. The Mummy was supposed to be on this list. Hopefully it comes in 2023. I have no other comments about that. But if you guys have never tuned into Movie Club, it's incredible. Sun Kumanaki does all the covers. And I know that you have all the covers that you're going to want to take to the West Coast VIP event. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun in the future. On top of this, I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. I'm going back and double checking. Our convention schedule, I don't know if Casey has this in the background, but here is our 2022 convention schedule. I think it might be in there. Our first convention will be Fan Expo Philly, which will be taking place the weekend of April 8th through the 10th. And then we have a whole string of conventions in May, June, July. It's okay if there's no graphic, but just know that our first one is in April. Rob, there is like 12 Resident Evils. I know there's one that just dropped. I have not seen it yet. I'm looking forward to it. This was a really long NCW. I'm so sorry I took 45 minutes out of your day to hang out with my boo loves, my new Stingray slippers. Which I'm very excited about, and I'm going to continue to wear around the office. That's how cool I am. Everybody was making fun of me at work today. Oh, thank you, Casey. Next week's release. Yes. Rise of the Djinn Part 2 and Robin Hood Justice graphic novel. So I'm really excited. I actually just read Rise of the Djinn Part 2. If you guys didn't watch the NCW on Rise of the Djinn Part 1, took place like over a month ago. Fantastic book. Unbelievable. One of my top 10 of the year. And, that was the other thing I was going to say. Drop in the comments what your favorite Zenescope title was this year, or a couple of your favorite Zenescope titles. I loved Rise of the Djinn a lot. Mangoat and the Bunny Man was fantastic. I really loved Patchwork Girl, Myth and Legends, Blood Pharaoh. My favorite story of the entire year was Hercules Pain versus Scorpion Queen. I loved that story. Joe did a fantastic job. There was just a lot of really good reads this year, and I'd be very interested to see what your favorites were, so we can continue to build upon those. But this was a fantastic NCW. I got a lot of engagement by this incredible audience. I'm glad that you guys got to ask Dave a lot of questions too, because that makes that more fun, is to answer the things that you want to hear. And we don't always get to do that. Goddess of Death was good. I'm looking. If you guys have favorites, drop them now. Before I sign off, I'll highlight a few of them. This was such a long NCW. I'm so sorry. I guess another thing as I wait that I will tease is that there is going to be some incredible covers that come now with NCW, and I'm going to be unveiling them maybe one time a month, maybe every week, and they'll only be able to be received by watching NCW and watching it live. Every week we'll have a couple of different stipulations. You'll only be able to get one cover, and then any of the covers that are not given away, we will trash, and those covers will only be yours, and you'll only be able to get them here on NCW. They're all going to be giveaway covers. They're not going to be something you can buy. So make sure that you tune into NCW every week. Wow, this is the world's longest NCW. This is NCW. It's Amber, our last NCW of 2021. I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. I can't wait next week to talk about Robin Hood graphic novel, as well as talking about Rise of the Djinn Part 2. This has been Amber with Zenescope, where you come for the covers, but you stay for the stories. I will see everybody in 2022. I'll see you next year. I love saying that. Cote hates when I say that, but I'll see you next year.